Before I start this, I just want to be able to give you more information from being in a situation where they're hiding and hiding. They're hiding behind the word woke. They can't even describe what that means, but what they have done, like Florida, is burned books. You can't have books. You can't say he or she. Um, he's fighting with Disney. Well, I hope Disney wins because his political is really a disaster. If you're pregnant, God help you because the government will not. They should not even be involved in a woman's body, except they want slaves, and you are the slave. And if you have something go wrong in your birth, your pregnancy, you could possibly die. Many women have already died. If you're raped, you're already behind the situation. But right now, I'm seeing more and more of the Republicans lying, hiding, telling you things that are not true. They're trying to block our Social Security, give it to a private company so they can make a profit on it. I don't know what they think they're going to run the country on because that's our money they're using. I'm hearing oftentimes, or I should say, I'm reading oftentimes individuals, oh, abortion is wrong, abortion is wrong, until they're the ones that need it. But the rich, they don't care. They just fly to another country and have it done. It's not a problem for them. But for us who don't have the money to fly to another country or pay a doctor to do it under the table, we're forced to going back to the coat hanger and then possibly die that way. There's one state that is now saying they want to check to see when you have your period. And they want to track you if you decide to go to another state. Oh, you might be trying to have an abortion. It's not their business. There's one judge that decided on his own the morning after pill to block it from people being able to get it. Really? Why is it that men are making decisions on a woman's body? They're going to test to see if our balls are inside or hanging? Really? It's not their business. They have destroyed lives. The transgender are now at the highest rate of suicide. That's wrong. This is wrong. I'm not sure which tape this is, but we're going to go for it.
I'm Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network. I want to show you a number of appearances that MAGA Republicans made in the various chambers in the Capitol building, as well as on the press, that just basically show how out of touch they absolutely are and how there is nothing normal about this, and it is pure gaslighting. The first clip I want to show you is Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell is basically saying in this clip that all of the lefties are trying to create a big controversy over the fact that Clarence Thomas just took a vacation with his friend. Here, play the clip and then we'll talk about it.
Now we've got the next round of silly personal attacks. This time, the left and some of their media allies want the American people to gasp in one Supreme Court justice vacations with his friends. Then another one sold his house when he moved. And the Chief Justice Roberts' wife has a career outside the home. The Democrats even tried to pressure Chief Justice Roberts to trade the Supreme Court for their kangaroo court and show up in person today to hear them grandstand. A totally inappropriate request, as the Chief's polite and facts-based reply made clear.
You know, when you sit as a judge and you're called the Honorable so-and-so, when people stand up and rise, you know, you're supposed to be honorable. I have no problem if people want to take vacations with their friends, if they're private citizens, or if they want to fly on private jets as private citizens. But when you are a Supreme Court justice, you are not supposed to have improper dealings and conflicts of interest, and you're supposed to make disclosures. You're supposed to be someone who is beyond reproach. You are not supposed to be someone who aids and abets corruption, and it is just sickening that it's so normalized. And look, in this hearing that took place during a Senate hearing, you even had this former Attorney General from the George W. Bush administration. This is Michael Mukasey, and he's asked a question by Senator Ossoff, who basically goes, so I just want to get this straight. You wouldn't take these trips, would you? And watch what he says.
Enormously valuable. That was then obliterated because it was said that that created the appearance of conflict.
And Judge Mukasey, I'm not in any way questioning or even seeking to interrogate your personal conduct. What I'm asking you is that as a judge, is it fair to say that you most likely would have declined an offer of foreign travel worth hundreds of thousands of dollars because, quite reasonably, you would have had the concern that public disclosure of such travel could have undermined public confidence in the impartiality of your judgment?
Simply because it amounted to, I mean, if somebody took me, I mean, if I were a district judge and somebody wanted to fly me on his private plane on a vacation with his family, and I were friendly with that person, would I have refused and endangered the friendship? I'm not sure that I would have.
I think the American public sees that kind of conduct and quite reasonably asks the question whether it's appropriate.
I mean, could you be more out of touch with the American people? I mean, is it just when you're in these ivory towers and country clubs that he literally says, if it would actually hurt my friendship, then I'd probably take those trips and those vacations. It's a crime. It is illegal. It is not allowed. I mean, even if it wasn't a crime, which it is, the conflicts of interest are so obvious. And this is the former Republican Attorney General under Bush. And this is what they're talking about. Meanwhile, you have Ted Cruz and Donald Trump saying, you know who we should have more of on the bench? We should have more people just like Justice Clarence Thomas, who takes millions of dollars in luxury trips and gifts and just runs around the world with people who go before the judge and go before the court and just flaunt that in our faces. I mean, really? You think there should be more judges like that? Watch, this is what Donald Trump says. Play the clip.
My administration will again adopt rock-solid constitutional conservatives to be federal bench justices and judges, but in the mold of Antonin Scalia, Justice Clarence Thomas, who, by the way, right now is under siege by the radical left.
This is what Ted Cruz says. Play the clip.
Do not buy solar panels if you live in California.